Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. For the day we are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It'll apply the discount automatically to your transaction, and it helps support the channel. Sister-in-law 39F is shunning me, 39M, and my wife 36F. Has anyone been through this and has any advice to navigate the situation? I, 38M, have always had a deep respect and admiration for my sister-in-law 39F. My wife's brother's wife, to be exact. We have known her since 2019. She is an active duty Navy, a total badass, and she is charming and beautiful too. She had a rough childhood, but she turned out pretty good despite how much people have done bad things to her in life. But she has a lot of unhealed trauma. Her parents were both bad to her. Her father would shun her and would stop talking to her if she didn't give him money to gamble away. He would tell her, "You owe me. I brought you to America." Also, growing up, her mother would tell her that she is useless, and that she would never amount to anything. Now, ironically, her mother completely depends on her financially, but still treats her like Doki. I suspect her mother is highly narcissistic. Her older brother was physically bad to her as well growing up, and he would close-fist punch her in the face often, and no one cared. Of course, as traumatized women do, she married my wife's piece of ass narcissistic brother, 35M. He is bad. I believe he has a full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, but no one believes me, and the family refuses to get him evaluated and also enable him. Everyone is afraid of him. He doesn't work. He is super lazy and entitled. He seriously takes advantage of my sister-in-law. He wastes her hard-earned money on stupid things like expensive fishing gear for himself and many other stupid toys, while simultaneously giving her a hard time if, God forbid, she buys herself a coffee in the middle of her 10-hour workday. She works 50-plus hours a week. He controls her and controls her money. He is also a legitimate hoarder, and their house is a mess. She is the only one who cleans. They have 2 small children, one of which has autism and is nonverbal. He just plops him down in front of the TV and plays him Teletubbies all day long, ignoring him. His autism is regressing. I believe my sister-in-law's upbringing basically groomed her into marrying someone just like my brother-in-law. I think she has been a victim of narcissistic redacted her whole life, and is repeating the same patterns that she experienced in childhood, now through her husband and his enabling family members. I tried helping her. I gave her 2 months of my life. I went over there and I helped her move to base housing. I single-handedly moved all of her husband's hoarding stuff from his parents' house to the new house, while killing hundreds of roaches and clearing out dozens of rats. Would she help me out of spite? I ended up seriously hurting my back carrying this heavy stuff alone. I thought it was worth it because sister-in-law was very happy and appreciative. And she told me that I opened her eyes, that I brought her happiness for the first time in a long time, that I saved her. She was happy with me when I left. I tried to warn her about her husband, and while I was there, and told her my suspicions of him being a narcissist. But she doesn't believe me and won't get him checked either. I think she is in denial and is too afraid of him to do anything. This is where I messed up. Over the years, I have developed feelings for her from afar. They all live in Hawaii. Her and I had similar upbringings. I recognize her pain, though she had it way worse than me. We were both in the Navy and we both love hiking and running. I wanted to hike the Pacific Crest Trail with her someday. I didn't want to have an affair or anything like that, but I do love her a lot more than I should. Which is why I decided to help her in the first place, while everyone else in the family turned a blind eye and ignored her pleas for help. It is hard to watch someone I love suffer so much unnecessarily, and I feel bad for the children as well. She told me that she has been feeling more and more like a shell of her former self, and it shows. She is miserable, but he consistently gaslights her and manipulates her into believing that all of her problems are her fault. So she just keeps trying harder and harder, working harder and harder just to please him, all while she does nothing all day and calls her a mediocre wife, even though she is the breadwinner, cleans up after him and the kids and his babies, and then went right back to work. It is heartbreaking for the situation, and unnecessary. My wife, 36F, has always known how I feel about my sister-in-law, and while she is not thrilled about it, she accepts it. This is because her and I have been through thick and thin together, and she knows for a fact that I love her, my wife, more than anything in the world. My wife and I are happy, believe it or not. My wife ran away from home when she was younger because her family was bad to her too. And she was a mess when she met me. I was able to get her into therapy, and I provided a safe space for her, in which she was able to heal and grow into a better person. I also treat her like a queen. She doesn't have to do anything around the house or worry about anything. We both just go to work, and I take care of the rest. She wanted me to try and work my magic on my sister-in-law as well, because she loves her. It was actually my wife's idea that I go help sister-in-law, even knowing my feelings. Both of us were worried about the kids. A quality of life as well. That's why my wife let me go visit the family to take care of things when my sister-in-law asked for help with the hoarding and the bad living situation. It all went well once I got to work on the mess, but then I mess it up. 7 months later, after helping my sister-in-law and returning home, I made the mistake of admitting to her that I've always admired and loved her. I really didn't think it through. I told her that I didn't want anything to do with her, but that had an overwhelming urge to protect her. In my head, it made sense. I was trying to let her know that I was on her side no matter what. I wanted her to understand that I would move heaven and earth for her always, without asking her for anything in return. I needed to get that off my chest, but it was really stupid, because she didn't believe me. She told her husband, and now I'm being shunned. She didn't express any concern, and said that she felt uncomfortable with me at any point. She simply stopped talking to me, blocked me on everything, and when my wife called her to ask what was going on, she told my wife that she should leave me, that I am a bad person, and that I had an ulterior motives when I went there to help. Even though she was happy with me when I left 7 months prior, she also insinuated that I am a homewrecker. All of this really broke me inside, because I thought sister-in-law and I were really good friends, and I never imagined that she would react this way. I guess I'm just really stupid or something. I have cried like a bee almost every day since my wife told me what sister-in-law said about me. I haven't since I was a kid. My wife defended me to her, to no avail. She blocked my wife as well on Facebook, but not on text. The rest of the family doesn't know what happened, but I suspect that brother-in-law will tell everyone eventually, because he hates me so much for exposing him. He would love to see me ostracized, even if it hurts his sister in the process. I don't really care about saving face, or about what the family thinks about me, because they raised a narcissist to continue to enable him. He and also did things to my wife when she was young to the point where she ran away. So let me get this straight. You're white knighting and you're supporting your family member even though the other family members are not too fond of them, and also the amount of the feelings that you have for them is borderlining homewrecker. That's not going to bode well for you, dude. Am I the a-hole for wanting my fiance to not talk with other women unless necessary? Yeah, doy. But, you know, here we go. Hey guys, 25F here. I'm sorry in advance. This will be a long one. Am I the a-hole for wanting my fiance to not talk with other women unless necessary? My fiance, 30M, Dan, and I keep having the same argument, but in different situations. When we met, he let me know that he had some friends that are girls. At the time, I did not care because he rarely talked to them and wasn't very close to any. I ended up meeting the group and liked everyone, so occasionally we would all go out together to bars, dinners, and such. I started to notice a particular girl in the group flirting with him. We will call her Bethany. Bethany would openly flirt with Dan, pulling him away from the group, and even calling him randomly to talk about her boy problems. I will admit I let it slide for about 3 months, hoping nothing was there. Well, one night, we went out with Dan and Bethany, and we were so into each other, other than Dan barely spoke to me the whole night. Looking over the menu with her, waited in line next to her, and even left me in a dark parking lot when she called, saying that she was pulling into park. I brought it up to him that I was uncomfortable and jealous. I didn't like how close they were, and I was starting to dislike Bethany. After a lot of back and forth, we decided that if Bethany needed anything, she would need to message me. No more calls to vent about her relationship or dating problems, and no more private messages between the two. This went on for all of 1 week before I saw him sending her a Snapchat. I asked why he had broken our agreement, and I got the, "Oh, we've known each other forever, 3 years, and she's my best friend." After a lot of arguments and even having a few other friends get involved, I finally gave up and told him to block her and to not talk to her again. If we saw Bethany at parties or dinners, we acted friendly and civil. Eventually, she messaged me saying that she was giving up on a friendship and would leave us alone. Almost 2 years later, we are engaged and planning our wedding for December of 2025. Since then, I have started therapy and medications to stabilize my moods, and now have someone teaching me how to voice my feelings before I let situations get out of hand, which I try to practice a lot. I have sat down with Dan and let him know that I am very uncomfortable with him entertaining other women while playing video games with them. We have had a few fights here and there about it, but for the most part, we have been understanding with each other until 2 months ago. We started playing with a group every day, one of them being a woman. I expressed that I know it's a me problem, but I'm jealous of how he laughs and talks to her for hours on the time. She was on the mic, heard the one-way conversation, and laughed at me. Then they both proceeded to talk to each other about how crazy I was to be jealous of someone online while I stood next to him waiting for a response. When he got off of the game, I told him to please not play with that group if she is on. That way, he can play with the boys. I checked and he played with her less than a week ago. Now, this last week, Dan and I got into another argument over another woman. Dan likes to get coffee in the morning before he heads to work. And for the last 4 months or so, he has been only going to one gas station. He has mentioned a few times that a woman who works mornings gives him free coffee and is making jokes with him, even giving him a sticker because it reminded her of him. I wouldn't have known any of this, but Dan has told me. I would kinda laugh and shake it off each time. Well, last week I got him a temporary ring to wear until our wedding, and soon after we got the stomach flu. The first me, then Dan. On Friday morning, Dan decided to go get coffee. I reminded him the doctor wanted us on clear fluid diets and nothing harsh on our stomachs, so coffee probably was not the best idea. He went away anyway. Later that night, I noticed that he didn't have his ring on. I joked and took mine off, saying, "I guess we're single tonight." He then jumped to how it was a test to see how long it would take for me to realize that it's gone. I told him, "Okay, well, put it back on," and I noticed. Dan then replied, "I will in a second, it's out in the truck." I'm not going to lie, I wanted to cry when he said that. He came in and went straight to playing video games. After a while to calm down and collect my thoughts, I went to him and told him how I felt. I let him know that I am jealous, and I know it's not a good thing to be, but the fact that he took his ring off in the truck when getting coffee upset me. I explained that I would make coffee from now on in the morning before he went to work and asked him what flavor or blend that he wanted. He got defensive and started calling me delusional for even inclining that he may be going for another woman and that he will be going back the next day no matter what. After about 10 minutes of back and forth, I gave up and told him that I would like to discuss again with him once he got off of the game and calmed down a little bit. We brought it back up in the morning when he went back, but it was the same "I'm smarter than to forget my ring," and I go there because I like my coffee. We have been arguing about it all week. Tonight, I had a breakdown. I woke up from a nap and he was playing with a new woman on the game, and as soon as I sat next to him, he turned the chat volume down. I asked him why he did that, and he responded, "The guys were being too loud." I told him I knew that there was a girl in the chat, and if he could just play with another team. He freaks out on me, and yelling about how I have issues, how I'm evil, and never want him to just have fun. I start to cry when he said that I was evil. Now, I'm here typing this up while he sleeps like nothing happened. Am I the issue? Am I being too jealous and controlling? I feel like it, but at the time, it kills me inside to see him put these women before my feelings. I get he has to talk to women every day in public, work and such. I'm just concerned about the ones that he's talking to every day for fun. I know jealousy and trust issues are ugly things to have. I want to bring it to my therapist, but I feel silly after all of these times I go in talking about how amazing he is and how much I love him, which I still believe 100%. I just need an outsider's view at this point. TLDR, my fiance 30M has a history of talking and gaming with women but has never cheated, took his ring off while out, and forgot to put it back on. I, F25, want him to not talk to other women unless it's necessary because of jealousy and suspicions. Update, I am the a-hole after reading all of the comments. I get it. I will be trying to open up more in therapy and bring this subject in my next session. I understand why I shouldn't make it his problem when I feel jealous. I will be working hard on that. This is why I posted this here for an outsider's view. I was too much in my own head. I will be apologizing to Dan as soon as he gets home. Thank you guys, this is what I needed. Kind of is still a little messed up that it took you writing all of that instead of just reading the title over again to realize that kind of is messed up. Because just because your partner happens to be gaming with people that happen to be women on a voice chat doesn't mean that they are cheating on you. And in a lot of times, anybody that's super suspicious like this, most of the time they will wind up having a couple of skeletons in their closet as well. But with that, that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up some wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I know this is one of the shorter of the storytime format videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed it all the same. But with that, I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!